Chapter 1. We hate each other, but nobody looks at me the way he does.
I don't remember when it started. Maybe it was during an oral presentation, or when I got a better grade, or just because we were born to get under each other's skin. He exists, and he irritates me. Simple as that. Yoon is the type who walks by with his shirt folded over his arm, hair perfectly in place, expensive cologne, and that "I couldn't care less about you" look that only serves to drive me crazy. And me? Apparently I'm the type who bothers him too. Pangel, the hothead, the guy who's always bumping into things, talking back, and sometimes speaks louder than he should. There isn't a day, not one day, that we don't stare each other down. Not a class where he doesn't provoke me. Not a moment when he's not around. As if we were made to clash. As if the whole world could collapse as long as I'm beating him. Or he's beating me. But sometimes his gaze stops and pierces through me. And for a second, it seems like he wants more than just to argue. And then I go silent. Because if I say something, I might not be able to stop.
Chapter 2. He always gets under my skin, but I can't stop looking.
The argument started over something stupid. A question from the professor. Some random disagreement. But with him, it's never just that. Yoon raised his eyebrow, crossed his arms, and said something in a tone so calm it felt like mockery. Everyone laughed. I froze.
"You're talking nonsense, as always,"
he said with that half smile. And that was it. My voice rose, my blood boiled. I stood up from my chair, and so did he. We stood face to face, in the middle of the empty classroom, after everyone had left. The silence was heavy, just the two of us there, staring each other down, like it was a duel. "You think you're so great," I blurted out.
"And you only think with your fists,"
he shot back, almost as if he was enjoying it. And then he took a step, closer, and another. He pushed me, gently but firmly, against the wall. His face got too close, and I don't know why, but my body didn't move. The air became thick, hot, still. My heart was beating in my throat. His eyes were shining as if they were waiting for something. But he didn't say anything, just looked at me and left the room as if nothing had happened. And I stayed there, unable to breathe properly.
Chapter 3. Sometimes it feels like only he sees me, and that terrifies me.
I thought I would forget. Seriously. It was just a push, a provocation, nothing major. But that scene won't leave my head. The way he approached, how he looked at me, as if he saw something that even I didn't want to see. Yoon has been provoking me since first semester, but that day was different. There was no irony, no laughter. There was silence and intensity. And I, like an idiot, kept waiting for him to say something the next day. But he walked right past, only glanced at me sideways, and continued being him. Cold, elegant, untouchable. And then comes the worst part. I caught myself looking too. During class, in the hallway, in the library. As if something in me had been switched on and I didn't know how to turn it off anymore. But I'm Angel. I don't chase. I don't doubt myself. I'm not like that. Or maybe now I am.
Chapter 4. The tension between us isn't just anger, I can feel it.
It was in the lab. Mandatory pairs. Luck, bad luck, I don't even know anymore. We stayed side by side, putting together a presentation project, and from the start, it was impossible to concentrate. The space was tight, arms brushed against each other, hands too, and every time our fingers touched by accident, the air seemed to stop. Yoon was quiet, too quiet. But I could see the way he looked at me when he thought I wasn't watching, how close he stayed, as if I wouldn't notice. But I did notice. There was a moment when I dropped a paper. I bent down, so did he. Our faces were inches apart. I could hear his breathing. I could smell his cologne. And in that second, I didn't think about fighting. I didn't think about provocation. I just thought about how easy it would be to touch him. But I froze, and so did he. We stayed there, on the floor, eyes locked. Neither of us moved, and when we got up, nobody said anything, but everything else said it all.
Chapter 5. He provokes me as if he wants me to lose control.
The presentation was chaos. I wanted to do it one way, Yoon wanted it another, and of course he spoke with that irritating calm, as if everything I said was a joke. In the middle of the classroom, the two of us arguing, in low voices but with anger dripping from every word. "You're taking this personally," he said as if he was tired. "And you're pretending you're not?" I shot back. We stared at each other, right there, in front of everyone. The looks around us disappeared. Only he existed, and that absurd urge to push, to pull, to do something that no longer had a name. After the presentation, I went after him. In the hallway, I called his name. He stopped, turned slowly, his face impassive, but his eyes weren't. "You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?" He didn't answer. He took a step closer, then another. And when he was close enough, he said, "What if I am?" His voice was low, almost a whisper. And his gaze? That gaze! My hand touched the wall behind him. I got too close. I took a deep breath. I tried to say something. But the truth? I didn't know anymore if I wanted to talk or do something else. Confused by my own thoughts, I pulled back and left.
Chapter 6. He said he hated me, but he was the one who kissed me first.
That should have been just another day, like any other. However, the way things started to unfold between us resulted in this. It was fast, but at the same time, took too long. We were staring at each other, again, like so many other times, in the same empty hallway, with the same unspoken provocations. But this time, something gave way. Yoon took a step back. He closed his eyes. He took a deep breath. "You're unbearable," he said, quietly.
Arrogant, explosive, spoiled.
I rolled my eyes. "If you want to keep insulting me, you can text me." I turned to leave, like I did last time. But then, he grabbed me by the collar, without warning, without hesitation, and kissed me. With anger, with force, with an urgency that seemed to have been stored for a long time. My body froze for a second, then responded. My hands ended up on his back, our breathing mixed. The fight became something else, a heat that exploded in the middle of my chest. When he pulled away, slowly, his eyes still glued to mine, he said, "That's why I hate you." And he left, as if he hadn't just turned my world upside down. I stayed there, with my mouth still trembling, my heart racing, and the certainty that, from then on, nothing would be the same.
Chapter 7. After the kiss, everything became harder, even breathing near him.
The next day, he acted as if nothing had happened. Yoon entered the classroom, sat in his usual spot, grabbed his notebook, and didn't even look in my direction. I tried to do the same, but the truth is, I couldn't. The entire class passed, and all I could remember was his mouth. The way he pulled me, how he said he hated me right after kissing me. And now? We stayed silent for days. No arguments, no provocation, nothing. And that's what irritated me. Because before, at least he was there, in front of me, confronting me, poking at me. It was war, but it was contact. Now, it's emptiness. Until one day, at the end of class, I grabbed his arm in the hallway. "So that's it? You kiss me and disappear?" He looked at me, calm, cold, but his eyes were shaking. "I shouldn't have done that," he said. Just that, and he left. Again. And I was left with the question stuck in my throat. If you shouldn't have, why did you do it with so much desire?
Chapter 8. I never thought I would fall in love with someone like him.
After the kiss, everything became harder. The classes, the campus, even the places where he used to be. Because now he avoids them, and I was looking. I kept waiting for him to come talk to me. I kept waiting for him to provoke me again, to look at me like before. But the silence only grew, until I couldn't take it anymore. I found him leaving the library. I grabbed his arm, again. "You want to pretend nothing happened? Fine, but I won't." He tried to pull back, but I didn't let him. "You kiss me, disappear, pretend it was a mistake, but look at me, Yoon. Look and tell me you didn't feel anything." He took a deep breath. He looked away. "You hate me, Angel. You always have. Then why did you kiss me like that?" He didn't answer, but his face said everything. The confusion, the fear, and what was behind it. I stepped closer, slowly this time. I don't know what this is, but I know it's not just anger. And for a moment, he didn't run away. He looked me straight in the eyes as if he wanted to continue. However, he looked away and stepped back, leaving me there with a tightness in my chest and my mind racing.
Chapter 9. I hated you for so long because I didn't know how to deal with what I felt.
The next day, he waited for me at the exit, without warning. And this time, without running. Yoon was leaning against the entrance gate, with his arms crossed, and that same look, only now there was something different. A hesitation in his shoulders, a tiredness in his chest.
You want to know why I did that?
He asked. I stopped in front of him. I nodded, without saying anything. He stayed silent for a while. Then he spoke.
Because I didn't know how to deal with you, with the way you get under my skin, with how much I think about you when I shouldn't, with how much I want to kiss you, even when we're fighting.
I froze, but not from fear, from relief, because that was it. That was everything. He took a step closer.
I tried to hate you, but I can't. And when I realized, I was already in love.
I took a deep breath. I looked at him, and this time, I was the one who pulled. The kiss was different. Without anger, without rush, without fear. Just truth. Two people who pretended to fight when in reality they just wanted to find each other.